Hello everyone. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. I hope you're all tucked up in bed. You've had a nice, relaxing day. And if not, hopefully I can help you out a little bit. Now, before we begin, I'd like you to take a second and thank yourself for taking the time to check in, to listen to your needs, and to join me. And I want to thank you as well for joining me tonight. I absolutely love having you here. And I love that I get to look after you, even if it's just for a short while. Now, to the good part. I'm going to read you a few stories this evening. These are stories that some of them are old. You might recognize a few from your own childhood. Or maybe you're a parent and you have some of these as well for your own children. Either way, they're some of my favourite books, both from when I was growing up and as a parent. Also, I have a lovely cup of tea tonight. This is one of my favourite types of tea. It smells so good. Actually, my first job was working for this tea company. I was a tour guide. I gave tours of the factory. If you've ever gone on this factory tour, I know a lot of people have, maybe we met. Now, I've already poured myself a glass. It's not a glass though, is it? It's a mug. It's my favourite mug too. This was a gift from my cousin when I was probably 12. So I've had it a very long time. How long? She lives in Seattle, so it's a mug of Seattle. I'm trying to find this. Oh, it's here. Space Needle. It's still quite hot. Maybe we'll let this cool. Okay. Time to read. I've got a whole big stack here. I'm trying to figure out which one I want to start with. Let's start with this one. It's brand new. I've only read it a few times. This is Mrs. Pinocchle's Tree Alphabet. This was a gift. Now, let's read. A is for aspen, with leaves that shimmy and shake in the wind. B is for birch. Some have white trunks that reach up for the sky, way up high in the mountains. C is for chestnut. Its yummy nuts can be roasted on an open fire in the winter. D is for dogwood. When this tree blows in spring, it's time to plant corn. U is for eucalyptus, a koala's favourite food, and it's one of Mrs. Pinocchle's favourite trees. In the winter, it doesn't shed its leaves, it sheds its bark. F is for Franklina, named after Benjamin Franklin. It no longer grows wild, but you can plant one in your garden and enjoy its pretty flowers. G is for ginkgo, which is 207 million years old. Its leaves are shaped like fans. H is for hornbeam, made up of very hard and strong wood. Its trunk looks like muscles. Kapow! I like this book. I is for incense cedar. It's a conifer. That means it doesn't lose its needles. It makes good pencils. Right on. J is for jacaranda. So pretty and full of purple flowers. This tree only grows where it's warm all winter long. K is for katsura, with heart-shaped leaves that look so pretty in the fall. It's very good for climbing. L is for lemon. Did you know lemons grow on trees? And their flowers smell so good. M is for mangrove, which grows in salt water all over the world. Its trunk and roots keep the land from washing away into the water. N is for neem, a tree that barely needs water at all. It's very useful for making medicine. O is for oak. There are more than 600 kinds around the world. Oak makes good furniture and buildings because it's so big and strong. And P is for palm, pine, pawpaw, and poplar. Mrs. Pinochle loves trees that start with P. Q is for quiver tree, which grows in South Africa. People use its wood to make quivers for their arrows. R is for redwood. Majestic and beautiful trees, they are the largest and tallest in the world. S is for spruce, which likes the snow and lives a long time. The oldest one is more than 9,500 years old. That's very old. T is for tulip poplar, with flowers in spring that look just like yellow and orange tulips. Its leaves look like tulips too. U is for umbrella tree. In Australia, its fruit is eaten by musky rat kangaroos. Red-legged padamelons, oh, someone Australian's gonna have to tell me what that is, and spectacled flying foxes. Wow. V is for viburnum. Some flowers smell heavenly, some don't smell at all, but look like snowballs. W is for willow. When its branches turn yellow, that's a sign spring is on the way. Mrs. Pinochle loves to see the yellow willow branches. Oh, I don't know how to say this one. X is for xylosma. A small tree that makes a nice hedge in the tropics. Hedges are good for hiding behind. Peekaboo. Almost finished. Y is for you. Some people think it's a bush, but it's happiest when it can grow into a tree. Don't eat the berries though, they're toxic. Mrs. Pinochle ate one when she was a little girl and had to go to the hospital. Z is for Zelkova. It's almost extinct. Plant a Zelkova and enjoy the shade from its leaves in the summer. Trees make clean air for us to breathe. The end. It's a lovely book, isn't it? I like the art. Okay, shall we read another one? Okay. Oh, I wonder if my tea cooled down. Let's see. When I make tea, I really like to make it with coconut sugar. It tastes almost like more caramelly. It's really nice. Okay, let's read another one. I'm trying to pick. I've got so many good ones. Okay, let's see. Let's read this one. Frida. About Frida Kahlo. This book actually came with a lovely little Frida Kahlo doll as well. I'd show you, but it's currently tucked up in bed with my son. Okay. Now, little Frida was born in Mexico. When she was at school, she got really sick. The illness made her leg as skinny as a rake. Frida was brave and different. She liked to dress differently too. One day, Frida was in an accident. While she rested, she drew pictures of her feet and her face using a mirror. Painting by painting, Frida and her art got better. So, she visited the famous artist Diego Rivera. He liked Frida's work very much. Frida and Diego shared a passion for painting, and soon they fell in love. Now, I want to make a small note here. I do really love this book, but it doesn't talk about Frida Kahlo and Diego Rivera's relationship nearly enough. It wasn't just as simple as they met and fell in love. It's quite a bit more complex and troubled than that. So I will say, if you read this book to your children, maybe talk with them a bit about that as well. Anyway, in some paintings, Frida looked sad, but in others, she smiled. People loved her work. So Frida did her first show in New York City. Frida became ill again, but that didn't stop her from going to her next show in her own bed. Because Frida always said, "Viva la vida." Live life. The end. I love this one so much. I read that book probably 100 times. I think it's just so sweet. Okay. Now, let's read. I think we'll read a classic next. It's not Chicka Chicka Boom Boom, which is a book that I read growing up, but it's close. This is Chicka Chicka ABC. A told B, and B told C, I'll meet you at the top of the coconut tree. Whee, said D to E, F, G, I'll beat you to the top of the coconut tree. Chicka Chicka Boom Boom, will there be enough room? Here comes H of the coconut tree, and I and J and Tagalong K, all on their way up the coconut tree. Chicka Chicka Boom Boom, will there be enough room? Look who's coming. LMNOP and Q R S and T U V. Still more, W and X Y Z. The whole alphabet up the... Oh no! Chicka Chicka Boom Boom. It's a really silly book. I think I like it because it's so chaotic and it goes against all like the rules of kids' books, like everything neatly in a row. It's like, nah, just chuck them all up there, they'll figure it out. Chicka Chicka. Okay. I have 3 more books. This is a good one too. This is Baby Loves Green Energy. This is a whole series of science books. I love them all. It was so hard to pick just one, but this is a good one. Okay. Now, Baby has a blanket. It's not too big or not too little. It's not too thick or too thin. It's just right. When Baby puts the blanket on, she feels warm. The Earth has a blanket too, just like Baby. The Earth's blanket is air. Air is made up of many different gases. We can't see them all, but they're all around us. Nitrogen, carbon dioxide, methane, water, and oxygen. Plants and animals need air to live. Sunlight warms the earth. The blanket of air helps hold the warmth in. Light, heat. Some gases in the air, like carbon dioxide, are very good at this. They are called greenhouse gases. I feel like someone should read this to a United States congressman. I feel like this would help them. But people are adding more greenhouse gases to the air. Cars and trucks burn fuel that makes extra carbon dioxide. Power plants and factories too. The extra greenhouse gases hold in too much warmth. Under the blanket, the earth is getting too hot. How can people help? Hydroelectric energy, wind energy, solar energy, geothermal energy. We can use other types of energy that don't add greenhouse gases to the air. This is called green energy. Baby wants to help too. What can she do? Walk instead of ride. Turn off the lights. Recycle. Baby loves green energy because Baby loves our earth. Our slowly, quickly dying earth. Next. This is a good one. This is my son's absolute favourite book. I'm probably going to frustrate some people with this one, but it's a good book. My first book of feminism for boys. Respecting your mum is the right thing to do because she is a person, the one who made you. Unless your mum is very toxic and doesn't treat you well, in which case I will be your mother. It's okay to cry and to love and to be sad. Boys can feel more than just happy or mad. These pages are stuck together due to toddler goop. Okay. Someday when you're grown, you'll be big and strong. But if you think strength means muscles, your thinking is wrong. Flex your brain power. Speak up for what's right. Know that women are strong and use your words to win fights. Play dress up or wrestle. Make art. Play with toys. Games are not made for just girls or just boys. Be friends with girls. Play with kids who are kind. You'll learn more from friends who are different, you'll find. When you eat, clear your dishes, and when you pee, lift the seat. Clean up after yourself. Think of others. Be neat. As soon as you're able, you can do simple chores. Make your bed, take out the trash, fold the laundry, sweep the floors. There aren't girl jobs or boy jobs. Just do what you can do. It's nobody's job to clean up after you. If you learn to work hard, you can do something cool. Fight fires, bake cakes, fly a spaceship, teach school. Find a job that you love heading off to each day. Know the women you work with must earn equal pay. If someone says don't touch me or asks you to go, you must leave them alone because no always means no. A just and fair world is within all our sights. If you spread the word, women's rights are human rights. I'm so sorry, there's a train going past. That's not too loud, I'm so sorry. Be respectful, be kind, be fair. And here's why. Because women are holding up half of the sky. The end. Let's begin. Okay. Finishing my tea. Time for our last bedtime story. I think this is probably the best bedtime story. Good night, Moon. This book was written in 1947. If you're not American, you may not have grown up on this book, I'm not sure. But I know that when I spent my childhood in America, this was definitely a popular bedtime story. Now, good night, Moon. Okay. In the great green room, there was a telephone and a red balloon and a picture of the cow jumping over the moon. And there were 3 little bears sitting on chairs and 2 little kittens and a pair of mittens and a little toy house and a young mouse and a comb and a brush and a bowl full of mush and a quiet old lady who was whispering, "Hush." Good night, room. Good night, moon. Good night, cow, jumping over the moon. Good night, light and the red balloon. Good night, bears. Good night, chairs. Good night, kittens, and good night, mittens. Good night, clocks. Good night, socks. Good night, little house, and good night, mouse. Good night, comb. Good night, brush. Good night, nobody. Good night, mush. And good night to the old lady whispering, "Hush." Good night, stars. Good night, air. Good night, noises everywhere. Thank you so much for having me here tonight to read you a story. I really, really enjoyed reading to you, and I hope that you feel comforted, relaxed, loved, and that you appreciate the time that you spent on yourself tonight. I'm really looking forward to seeing you again soon. Taking care of you again. If you need someone to look after, I'm always here.